Welcome to Late Start Piano. My name is Josh. Today we're going to be talking about seventh chords and specifically diatonic seventh chords within the F major scale. So if you don't know your scales and you don't know your triads, I would suggest you learn those first. I have plenty of videos on those as well. But today's going to be a little bit more advanced in the sense that we're going to be adding a fourth note to our basic triads. We're going to be adding a seventh, either a major seventh or a dominant seventh, depending on the chord, depending on the scale degree of that chord, right? So again, we're in F major. Hopefully you know your F major scales. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're back to that 1, right? So of course we know F major, F, A, C. If we want to add a seventh to this to keep it diatonic, it would be a major seventh, which is this. We can find any major seventh chord by just looking for the root. So we're looking to play a F major 7 in this case. Here's the root, and we just go down a half step. That's how you can find any major seventh chord pretty quickly, right? Then the next chord, we can play a G minor 7th. So this would be our 2, right? Because in the scale of, again, of F major, here's the 1, here's the 2. So any second degree chord in diatonic major land scale world, in that kind of world, we're going to be playing the G minor, which is right there, then we add on that 7th degree. Now notice in this case, this is going to be a G minor 7 because we're not playing G minor major 7, right? We're not doing this kind of thing. Because again, there's no G flat in the scale of F major. The G is natural, and we're not going to call it an F sharp, right? Because we're in F major. So we're just playing G, B flat, D, and F. And that is a whole step away from the tonic. So just like how we talked about F major, if we want to play that major 7th, we just look for the tonic and go down a half step. If we're looking to play a dominant 7 or a minor 7, right? We can look for the tonic, so in this case G, and go down a whole step. 1, 2. And just notice because we're playing the 2 chord, which is minor, diatonically, meaning it belongs to a major scale, we're playing that B flat in addition to the minor 7. So we have a minor 3 and the 7th degree in there as well. Next, we can do A minor, so that's going to be the same thing. We got that minor 7th with the G, minor 3rd, minor 7th. Then we play B flat. We're back to playing a B flat major because we're on chord 4 now, and all chord 4s are major. So there's your B flat, and then we add in the 7th. That's your A. Then we go to C, which is the dominant here. That's the 5. And then we go to the A, or the D. That's your D minor 7. Then we're in the triad land, right? So here's what we can call a half diminished chord, right? If we're sticking to strictly diatonic, because again, the E is the 7th degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the way we're playing this is we're playing an E minor, or E diminished, excuse me, E, G, B flat, because B flat is diatonically in the scale of F major. And then all we do here is add on this. So it's basically like a regular 7th, like that would be your E minor 7. But this is going to be an E half diminished. This would be an E full diminished. This would be an E full diminished, because we have here to here, which is a minor 3rd, here to here, which is a minor 3rd, and here to here, which is a minor 3rd. So all minor 3rds, this would be an E fully diminished, or just E diminished. When we have this major 3rd up at the top here, that's going to make it a half diminished, because this is a diminished, right? And then we add in that 7th. This is now an E half diminished, or E minor 7 flat 5, you could also call it. But that's the cool thing about adding on these 7th degrees is normally we're told, at least as beginners, that we couldn't really use the 7th degree because it sounds like that, right? pretty intense sound. But when you start adding in 7th degrees, okay, now maybe it's not as bad. Right? Maybe we can kind of throw that in there now when we're improvising if we have that E half diminished kind of sound. So those are your basic 7th chords. I'm going to be making another video here shortly about lead sheets and how to actually read these while you are playing, and different things that you can do within lead sheets when you see these chord symbols actually written down. But this is going to be kind of like the prerequisite. So again, learn your triads if you don't know those already, learn your major scales if you don't know those already, and then you can add on these diatonic major chords and diatonic minor chords once you understand those fundamentals first, right? And we can kind of improvise with these. Even something like that, you notice how there's much more color with it, there's much more emotion, much more depth within even what I just played, something very simple like that. Because we're adding in that 7th degree, we're adding in more colors, more functional harmony, so to speak, and it's going to sound a lot better versus just playing regular old triads, you know, something like this. You might have to do something like that if that's where you're at, but you want to graduate away from triads as soon as you can and get into more of these 7th degrees so that you can understand how to play better sounding music, right? As we understand the basics, we want to try to level up quickly. Even if we're not fully comfortable on the triads yet, I would still say you can level up. You don't need to know all your triads or all of your major scales. You just need to know the basic idea of what a triad is, of a scale. Knowing your 1, 4, and 5 are major, knowing your 2, 3, and 6 are minor, and that 7 is a diminished chord. Once you know that, you can start playing around with these 7th degree chords and just having fun with your improvising. Any questions, comments, let me know down below. Again, my name is Josh with Lead Start Piano.